Nestled deep within the fog-laden woods of New England stood Blackwood Manor, an ancient and imposing mansion that had been abandoned for decades. Its windows were dark, and its walls whispered tales of unspeakable horrors. Local legends spoke of restless spirits and eerie occurrences that plagued the mansion, and no one dared to venture near after sunset. The manor's history was steeped in mystery, and the locals avoided it at all costs. Alex Turner had always been fascinated by the supernatural. As an aspiring writer, he was drawn to the darkest and most mysterious tales. He inherited Blackwood Manor from a distant relative he had never met. He saw it as an opportunity to uncover the secrets of the haunted mansion and perhaps find inspiration for his next novel. Despite the warnings from the townsfolk, Alex decided to move into Blackwood Manor. He was determined to uncover the truth behind the legends and prove that the hauntings were nothing more than myths. As he drove through the winding, tree-lined road leading to the mansion, a sense of unease washed over him. The trees seemed to close in around him, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. First night in Blackwood Manor was eerily quiet. The grand foyer, with its towering staircase and dusty chandeliers, felt oppressive. Alex explored the house, noting the decayed grandeur and the strange, unsettling atmosphere. He found old family portraits lining the walls, their eyes seeming to follow him as he moved through the rooms. As the night grew darker, the temperature dropped. Alex settled into his new bedroom, lighting a few candles to ward off the darkness. He opened his laptop and began to type, hoping to capture the eerie ambience of the mansion in his writing. But as the hours passed, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. Around midnight, strange noises began to echo through the house. Footsteps creaked on the floorboards above, and whispers seemed to drift through the walls. Alex tried to ignore them, attributing the sounds to the old house settling. But when a cold breeze brushed against his neck, he turned to see the bedroom door slowly creaking open. Determined not to be spooked, Alex decided to investigate the source of the noises. He grabbed a flashlight and ventured into the dark hallways. The beam of light flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. He followed the sound of footsteps to the attic, a place he had not yet explored. The attic was filled with old furniture, covered in dust and cobwebs. In the far corner, he found a trunk filled with old letters and photographs. As he sifted through them, he uncovered a diary belonging to Eleanor Blackwood, a former resident of the manor. Her entry spoke of strange occurrences and a growing sense of dread. She wrote about seeing shadowy figures and hearing voices calling her name. One entry, dated just before her disappearance, mentioned a hidden room in the basement. Intrigued, Alex decided to search for this hidden room the next day. The following morning, Alex descended into the basement. The air was thick with dust, and the stone walls were damp and cold. He searched for hours, tapping on the walls and moving old furniture. Finally, he found a loose brick and pried it open, revealing a hidden passageway. Passage led to a small, dimly lit room. In the center stood an ancient altar covered in strange symbols and candles. The walls were lined with shelves filled with old books on the occult. It became clear that the Blackwood family had been involved in dark rituals and had possibly summoned something sinister into their home. As Alex examined the room, he felt a sudden chill. The air grew heavy and he heard a faint whispering. He turned to see a shadowy figure standing at the entrance of the passage. The figure slowly moved towards him, its form shifting and flickering. Alex backed away, but the figure reached out a cold, skeletal hand and touched his arm. From that moment on, the hauntings grew more intense. Objects moved on their own, doors slammed shut, and Alex often felt a cold presence watching him. He started having vivid nightmares where he was chased through the dark hallways by the shadowy figure. Each night, the dreams became more real, blurring the line between reality and the supernatural. Desperate for answers, Alex reached out to the local historian, Professor Caldwell. The professor revealed that the Blackwood family had a history of dabbling in dark magic and had made a pact with a malevolent spirit. The spirit, bound to the house, tormented anyone who lived there. Determined to free the house from the spirit's grip, Alex and Professor Caldwell devised a plan to perform a cleansing ritual. They gathered the necessary ingredients and prepared for the ritual, hoping to banish the spirit once and for all. On the night of the ritual, the air was thick with tension. Alex and Professor Caldwell set up the altar in the hidden room, lighting candles and chanting ancient incantations. As they recited the words, the temperature dropped and the shadowy figure appeared, its eyes glowing with malevolence. The room shook and the candles flickered as the spirit fought against the ritual. Alex felt an overwhelming sense of dread, but he continued to chant, focusing all his energy on banishing the spirit. The figure let out a blood-curdling scream and a blinding light filled the room. When the light faded, the shadowy figure was gone. The room fell silent and the oppressive darkness that had plagued Blackwood Manor lifted. Alex and Professor Caldwell collapsed, exhausted but relieved. The curse had been broken and the spirit was finally at peace. In the months that followed, Alex restored Blackwood Manor, transforming it into a place of light and warmth. The townspeople, once wary of the mansion, began to see it as a symbol of hope and resilience. The legend of the haunted house became a tale of redemption, a reminder that even the darkest places could be brought back to life. As for Alex, he found inspiration in the experience, writing a best-selling novel about the haunting of Blackwood Manor. He stayed in the house, feeling a deep connection to its history and the spirits that once roamed its halls. And though the shadows were gone, he often felt a comforting presence, a reminder that he had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. The story of Blackwood Manor became a legend, a tale told to warn others of the dangers of dabbling in the dark arts and the power of courage and determination. As the years passed, the manor stood as a beacon of light in the dark woods, a testament to the power of the human spirit.